Hi there and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Florentin and this will be episode number 4 in my Music Drive series. Today is Thursday, August the 30th, 2018, and in today's video I'd like to give you some suggestions for how to memorize music. If you're a musician like I am, and if you perform a lot in front of an audience, then you know the importance of having your music memorized. And here are some practical suggestions for how to easily memorize music, and lots of it. The first one is to simply allow memorization to happen naturally. That's right. When we play a piece of music often and when we play it a lot, we sometimes just allow it to get memorized naturally. Think about the way you drive home from work. You have that way memorized, and you even have some variations memorized. Like if there's traffic one way, you know how to go the other way, and you make it home one way or another without a map, without a GPS, simply because you have it memorized, and it happened naturally. It's not something that we plan. It's not something that we do on purpose. We just know how to get home or how to get to work because we do it all the time. It's just natural. It just happens naturally. Think about finding things in your home, like finding rooms in your home, your garage, your bathroom. I mean, if you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're thirsty, you know your way to the fridge easily, without asking for help, without looking at a map, without having to stop and think about it. So it happens naturally. So that can work with music to some extent anyways. Another suggestion, which is pretty obvious, is repetition. Lots of repetition. When you play the song you're trying to memorize, when you play it often, you just end up memorizing it. So if you give it sufficient time, and if you play it sufficient times and often enough, you will memorize it. Another practical suggestion would be to always separate or divide your piece into sections. This is very important, especially if your piece is longer. It's like 2 or 3 pages or more. It's very helpful to divide your piece up into separate sections and actually write the section letters or numbers in your score. So divide your piece into sections and practice your piece section by section. And if you are trying to memorize the song on purpose, which you could, it doesn't have to be just, naturally. If you are trying to memorize the song on purpose, then it's very helpful to have different sections that you're working on memorizing. And so write those section numbers or letters in the score. Another suggestion would be to make your score, to add the visual aids in your score, to actually write things in your score, because we're such visual beings, and I can always see the score in my mind when I perform the piece. And especially if I make little notes, not just the section letters or numbers, but little things or comments or whatever thing I add in there, it kind of helps me remember the piece better. So adding little comments, little notes in the score can help you with memorization. Another suggestion is, here's a good one, to give your score some non-musical sense, some non-musical meaning. Here's what I mean by that. If you think of your song as a story, okay? If you think of your song as a journey, maybe. If you think of your song as a movie, or if you associate some visual thing with your song, with your piece. That can help you tremendously, not only with memorization actually, but also with interpretation. See, if you think of your song as a story, then there's going to be an introduction, there's going to be stuff going on, and there's going to be characters, maybe dialogue, there's going to be a conflict, there's going to be a resolution, there's going to be a climax, maybe there's going to be a conclusion. So if you try to maybe write a story in your mind and assign different parts of the piece to that story, or assign different parts of the story to your piece, that can be very helpful with memorization, but also, like I said, with interpretation, because it'll make your song come to life. And often in master classes, I've heard musicians help their students interpret their songs much better when they started to write a story or make up a story that goes along with the song that they were playing. So that can be very, very helpful. I think that's all the suggestions I have for now. I don't have to make these videos very long. So if you are trying to memorize music, I don't know if I can remember the order that I went in, but I think the first one was just let it happen naturally. I think the second one was repetition, lots of repetition. I think I also said that it's good to divide your score up into different sections. I also said that it's good to put different notations in your score, like make little notes, little marks that can help you with memorization. I think I'm forgetting one, but at the end I was talking about adding some kind of non-musical meaning to your song that you can think of as you play it, and that should help you with not just memorization but also with interpretation. Some of the longer songs that I'm learning right now, I'm practicing a lot of music, and I'm trying to memorize Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. That's hard for me to memorize. It's also hard to play. I'm also practicing a Bach piece on the guitar, which is like 4 pages long, and it's a struggle sometimes to memorize, but it's not a struggle for me when I stop trying to memorize it. See, that's why I put that thing right at the beginning of my suggestions. When I stop trying to memorize the piece, for me anyways, it seems to be much easier to memorize it when I just allow it to happen naturally. So I would put that at the top of my list. Just do your thing, just practice your song, just play what you need to play, and for me anyways, I just end up memorizing it. There's one more that I forgot to add in altogether today, and that would be try to write down the score. Now this one's a crazy one for some of you, maybe because maybe you're not used to writing down music notation by hand. That's right, by hand. Well, I do it all the time. I also do it on computer using software, but I write down music by hand all the time. Arrangements, accompaniments, my own music. So when you can write down the score by hand, you know the score. That's right. Because it's one thing to play it and you have muscle memory, but when you can actually write it out note for note, now you really know that song. Now you really know that score. So you can give that a try. I forgot to put that in there because it's an unusual one, but it really works. So anyways, I think I'll stop here for now. Thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I hope the background noises are not too loud. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to record these videos for my music drive. But it is what it is. There's the occasional bump in the road and the sun shining in and all that stuff. Well, it is what it is. Well, thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting my channel. If you're not subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so. Also click that bell so you get notified every time I have a new upload. We have a great weekend ahead of us, Labor Day weekend. Looking forward to spending some time with family and enjoy some great, free time and relax and get some practice in. And thank you again. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.